Hey everybody, welcome to the PowerCast live with you guys every Tuesday night with a very, very special guest we're excited to have with you on the show. But before we get started, I want to make sure you know where to find us every week. And including every type of show we have, you can find us on LinkedIn. By the way, live on LinkedIn today, live on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure to go to our YouTube channel, Team Powerhouse Real Estate. And as a matter of fact, Team Powerhouse Real Estate is the best way to find us on all our platforms. You have Twitch, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor. Where else, Eric?
Did you say Twitch yet?
I did say TikTok. Okay. You're going to find us anywhere you want, but let's get into the show here today. We ran a couple little minutes late. My apologies. We have a very special guest. Her name is Hayley Falk. She has an amazing organization that she started, and I just want to have you thank you so
16
much. At the age of 16 years old,
come on,
started an organization that's unbelievable. It's called Because of the Brave, and she actually brought us shirts to wear today, so we are actually wearing the shirts because of the Brave.
No, you're wearing a shirt that she brought you today.
That is true. I am wearing a shirt that
we'll
she
get
brought
into
me.
my shirt later on.
We will definitely get into your shirt later on. So, Because of the Brave is Hayley. And just to get you guys to know a little more about her, again, she started this organization at the age of 16. And you might be thinking she's probably like 25. No, she's 19. Right? 19 years old?
Yeah, that's right.
Right age of 19.
Started an organization to raise money for vets. Unbelievable. All right, so, Hayley, where are you from?
I'm from Cheshire.
Born and raised?
Born and raised in Cheshire.
Very nice. And what's it like living in Cheshire?
You know, you're from Cheshire. Small town.
Small town. Everybody kind of knows everybody.
Everyone knows everybody, but
I mean, the town must be pretty excited about the fact that you just started this organization. What a representation of the town of Cheshire. I mean, that's pretty amazing, right? Wouldn't you see?
Right. It's super nice to have that military background.
And having a military background. So let's talk about that for a second. Dad, grandparents, who's in the military in your family?
Yeah, so my dad and grandfather were both in the military.
And what division they serve?
My dad was in the Navy and my grandfather was in the Army.
Thank you very much for your service, grandfather and dad. What are their names, by the way, please?
My dad's name is Jeff and my grandfather's name is Don.
Jeff and Don, thank you so much for your service, everybody. We love you and appreciate you. And everybody out there, you're watching the show today. If you know Hayley, make sure to say hello on social media to us. If you have any questions for Hayley, please do not hesitate. We're looking for your questions as we're talking to Hayley over here. We have a few people in the background watching social media for those questions.
So let's get into the meat of what is Because of the Brave.
So Because of the Brave is a nonprofit organization that was started in 2019, and we work to ensure that we honor our current and former service members while also educating the youth on the importance of their service, and then also intertwining with supporting our first responders.
Amazing. You know, you mentioned about educating our youth. I will say to you, if you're out there and you're not knowledgeable about what servicemen have done for this country to give you your freedom, this is one of the most important organizations, I think, that you need to know about and be a part of. It's a volunteer service program that you started that is, it's got to make your family proud. I mean, I am beside myself. 19 years old, started at the age of 16. How did you get involved? What made you think about this? Like, where did that come from, this idea?
I know, it helps having the military background to start off with, and my dad does a lot of volunteer events for the veterans. And him being a police officer, he always wants to, do more for the community. So
Absolutely.
He started volunteering a while back, and I was the sidekick at all of his events, and knew that was something I wanted to pursue and make of my own.
But again, how many people out there are young people who have family who have been military backgrounds? And I mean, I have to tell you something. That's something special for you to have the knowledge, the strength, the desire to go and start an organization for the military. At the age of 16, I can't stop saying it because it blows my mind that a young lady or a man, no matter what it is, that who's out there, you want to get involved in something special. This is special. This is very special, and it's intimate. Eric was a former Marine, and
No such thing as a former Marine.
that's true. No such thing. Eric is a Marine.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
You serve our country. You provide for the people in this country, in this world, in this country, so much. All right, I'm going to
So,
get sidetracked.
but I have a
lot.
question. So, I had never heard of it before. Being from Cheshire, it
Yeah.
was just like I got blindsided by it. I heard about what was going on. I got an email.
In June?
In June, yeah. But I won't jump to the June's event yet, but the folks that I had been talking to about it said that it was started as a class project or something like that. Is that true?
Kind of. I started it when I was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess some form of class project.
Okay.
But I definitely wanted it to be something that I could take with me after high school.
Okay.
That's pretty amazing. By the way, where'd you go to high school?
I went to Cheshire High.
Cheshire High School, represented over here, Miss Haley.
Yep.
And are you in college? Did you go to college at all?
I am in college.
You're in college right now, so you're in school.
Yeah.
And also running this organization. May I ask where you go to school?
I go to Southern.
Very nice.
Yes.
Now, the people at Southern, do they know what you're doing? Does anybody at school know about this program?
Yeah, it was nice because after the wall, I actually had one of the advisors from Southern email me and was like, saw you on the news. Would you want to meet up and talk about this?
I think that Southern Connecticut should not only be proud of you, but they should really actually probably get more involved in it. That they're a very own student that is going to their school, creating an organization that's probably now known all over the United States. I mean, that's epic. And to have someone such as yourself, what's your major, by the way?
Nursing.
You're a nursing
Yeah.
major. I mean, obviously you care about taking care of people, right? But this is, I laugh because you're a nursing major. That's not like an easy major.
No.
That's a lot of work involved in school. And how many hours a week do you spend doing this?
A lot. I feel like any free moment that I get, I'm like, how can I make this better? How can I do this?
And I believe that because you're making it better every day. I have a bunch of questions here, so please forgive me, guys, if I'm getting sidetracked. I like to write down these questions because I know what I want to ask Haley. And before I get involved with Haley, I never know the answers to the questions. So all these questions I'm asking you are always live questions that I don't know the answers to. So please forgive me if I stumble around over here, jumping around. All right. What year did you start this organization? Please.
Yeah, so I actually started it 3 years ago this month in November
Oh,
in
no
2019.
kidding.
Yeah.
That's pretty. And this month's a very strong month for the military.
Yeah.
Eric, help me out with that, Eric.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Outside of the Marine Corps birthday and Veterans Day, I don't know any other
We have the Marine Corps
correlation.
birthday and Veterans Day right around the corner. What a perfect timing to have this show.
Back-to-back
Right.
days.
I mean, this show couldn't happen at a better time. And that's kind of ironic because
I know.
the fact that it happened, it's got to mean something.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me for sure. How did you decide to start this organization? And the name, Because of the Brave, how'd you come up with that name?
So I wanted to start it for a few different reasons. Definitely my dad and grandfather had a huge impact on me. And then Colonel Barnum, who's a Medal of Honor recipient from Cheshire,
Oh, wow.
has definitely played a huge role in making me want to do more and be more as a person because he's mentored me throughout the years and definitely had the push it forward, let's make it happen.
Wow. Tell us a little about Colonel Barnum.
Yeah,
Because I'm not familiar with Colonel Barnum, and I think that everybody in America should know.
Yes.
And everybody in the world that's watching. Again, this podcast, by the way, I'm not sure if you know, is not only in Connecticut, it's all over the United States. It's actually all over the world. We have probably about 20 countries easily watching us right
Wow.
now. And it's crazy because I didn't realize how many people are watching all over the world this show. So tell us some more about Colonel Barnum, please.
Yeah, so Colonel Barnum served in the Vietnam era and received the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions in Vietnam.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. And he's a Cheshire person that you got to know pretty well through high school, or how did you meet him?
Yeah, he's a Cheshire native.
Yes.
He lives in Virginia now, but
Oh, wow.
he used to come to events in Cheshire and we grew a relationship through that.
That's pretty amazing. Wow. I hope he's watching the show.
He will.
That's pretty awesome stuff. Well, another question for you is, how has this impacted your life, this organization? I mean, that's that's probably a multi-level answer, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely helped me grow as a person, and it's definitely helped me explore everything. I feel like everything that has come out of this has been so positive, so it's definitely given me a better outlook on
Well, you have the first thing is at getting in front of a camera. By the way, is not an easy task. I remember the first time I was in front of a camera, I froze and I couldn't even speak. That was something that happened when I was working for my family. I remember Channel 8 came in and asked me some questions. They're like, "Oh yeah, just ask him some questions. You know all the answers." And the camera came on, and I was like, I could not even get words out of my mouth. So for you to be able to get in front of a camera comfortably and speak about something you're passionate about, that's super huge. That's a big learning curve right there. A lot of adults can't do it. So definitely something to learn about that part. And then you have the fact that you have an organization that I'm sure that you've met a lot of people along the
Yeah.
way. And, you probably hear stories upon stories that really becomes very deep for you and deep in your heart and your mind. Because when you hear something and you hear a story, you can almost visualize what's going on and how important this has developed and what's affected other people. That's pretty cool stuff. It blows my mind. Who do you look up to?
I think this will circle back to Colonel Barnum again. He's definitely one of the people that I look up to just because his words mean so much to me. If he says something, I'm doing it. Even if it's out of my comfort zone, which has happened so many times, that I know he just really wants the best for me.
Yes.
So I will.
And he appreciates you probably so much for being such a loud advocate about this organization. Do you remember anything specific since you've known him that he said to you that really kind of yanked at your either emotions or pushed you to the limit or got you to do something you weren't expecting yourself to do? Was there anything you remember him saying specifically at all? I'm putting you on the spot.
No, you're totally fine. I think he said one time it's the future of our country lies with our youth. And
Absolutely.
that made me think, wow, so many people are so unaware of the service and sacrifice, and some people don't even have an appreciation.
It's so true.
Yeah, so
Isn't that crazy? It's crazy that people who have no connection or understanding as to what our military is about in this country, you don't have to be a person who wants to be a part of the war or anything like that, but to appreciate somebody who goes in and takes their life, puts it on the line to serve our country, the greatest country in the world,
yeah,
right? For our freedoms, for our safety, and to allow I can't even, that's just amazing. It's amazing stuff, Barnum, awesome. All right, next question for you. What events do you host?
we've hosted several events. One of our first events was actually a World War II birthday parade. That was in 2020. I think that was one of our very first events that kind of took our name a little farther.
Where was this located again?
This was in Cheshire.
In Cheshire.
So it was October of 2020. We
Yes.
hosted a World War II parade for
Wow.
3 World War II vets.
Wow,
And we had Power Station gave us the big stage.
that's awesome. Good job, Power Station.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we had all the news channels there, and we had guest speakers.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt
No,
you.
it's okay.
So how did this kind of come to play? Who was starting, how did it all come together?
Yeah, so in 2019, it was going to be their 100th, no, I'm sorry, in 2020, it would be their 100th birthday.
Wow.
So in 2019, we said we want to have a big party for them, and then we weren't able to.
Yes, that's right.
But we wanted to still do something big to make them feel appreciated, so we figured a parade around the whole town of Cheshire with having an opening ceremony and guest speakers, and everything would hopefully make them feel special.
That's pretty amazing. Now, were these people who were being thanked, were they from Cheshire? Were they from?
Yeah, they're all Cheshire natives.
No. So we have 3 Cheshire natives that were in World War II?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's just one we have left. We just celebrated her 102nd birthday.
It's just amazing to have people who have lived as long as they have
Yeah.
to have been a part of something that was so catastrophic in so many ways, in so many people's lives, on every aspect, and to remember those people and to give them the thanks and appreciation. If you haven't noticed already, I'm a big military, if you will. I have a lot of heart involved, my mind, my soul. It's something that kind of how I was raised. So I get emotional about things like that. So I apologize. And I think it's something that I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just it's pretty deep stuff. So
I think I remember that parade.
Yeah.
They went down a great many streets, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't remember if they went down my street or not, but I remember seeing the parade, and of course, I had to whip out my Marine Corps flag, and just as they drove by. So
it's.
But the parades were the flavor of the day for kind of 2020 and
Oh, yeah.
2021.
That's right. Birthday parties were parades, driving by people's houses. The firemen, the police, giving kids that feeling of like importance.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Is there anyone in your family involved or past military? We did talk about that. That would be your father and your grandfather. So I apologize. I'm kind of repeating questions over here. You feature Medal of Honor recipients every Monday. What is a Medal of Honor recipient?
Okay, so a Medal of Honor recipient is the highest award for military valor that you can receive. It's from the president, and it's for heroic life-saving actions.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. And why is it so important that we educate others about them?
I feel like if you're not familiar with military and everything around, you don't know what a Medal of Honor recipient is, which is completely okay. It just gives us a purpose to educate people. But I think realizing that the stuff you hear,
The
the
stories,
stories they tell,
the lives they live.
yes, insane.
The act of bravery.
Yeah.
So just doing their normal duties is one thing, there's a level of bravery required for that. But all CMH, Congressional Medal of Honor winners, did something above and beyond what a normal soldier would be expected to do.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave, if you hear some of the stories of some of these Medal of Honor winners, you wouldn't believe it.
So, talk about bravery. I think to myself as a father, right? How much as a father, how brave... jammed up over here. As a parent, what you do for your kids, how much you protect them. But these people they're not their kids they're defending.
It's their brothers.
It's their brothers.
It's their brothers.
It's their
A
country.
bond is created with the guys you serve with, that they're life altering and they're forever. So just like a Secret Service guy he may not even agree with the politics of the president that he's working for, but he will take a bullet for that person. That's what we do is, if presented the situation to save my my buddy's life, I'm going to do it.
It's
Whether his story is more important than mine, whether he's younger or is older, it doesn't matter. You just do it. I don't know. I can't explain how it just happens.
It's only something that you can understand if you've been through it. I would have to think, and gone through the process or been involved in anything like that. That's the only way I can think of it, or listening to a story to kind of feel it maybe to some degree. But unless you're involved in it physically or mentally, there's no way to actually understand it.
They also fly for free for life.
Oh, really?
Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
That's
I'd
cool.
have to look up how that works, but Congressional Medal of Honor recipients don't have to pay for any airfare anywhere.
Well, you know what? That's the least that you get all day long. That's pretty amazing stuff.
yeah.
I'm happy to hear that, buddy. That makes me really happy. Do you have any events coming up that you can tell us about?
Yeah, so did we want to touch on Veterans Day, or did we want
Let's talk about Veterans Day.
Okay.
Let's do that. It's coming up.
Yeah, so this Friday, November 11th, we have a packed schedule for Veterans Day.
Really?
Yeah, we're so thankful. All of the businesses in Cheshire, so kind. We have Rossini's is doing 10% of all proceeds that day back to us.
Wow.
Jersey,
Good job, Rossini's.
Yeah, good job, Rossini's. They're always there for our veterans, like anytime.
Rosini's Pizza, that's in Cheshire on West Main Street, right? Big shout out to Rosini's. Go ahead. We're going to throw all these names out there.
Yeah,
Well,
Jersey Mike's in Cheshire.
Jersey Mike's in Cheshire just opened up. Very excited to have them be a part of this.
Yeah, and then we're doing a fundraiser at Counterweight Brewing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Counterweight. Nice job.
They're letting us use their space, and we're
Wow.
going to have our merchandise. They're going to have beers, cider, wine, all that good stuff.
That sounds very exciting. So, in the fact that this is coming up right away, you've done a lot of events. Now, are all the events you've done in Connecticut, or they've been outside Connecticut? Anything outside, the area?
We've participated in events outside of Connecticut, but actually this December, we are bringing our Vietnam veterans to DC,
Wow,
which is huge.
that's pretty amazing. Wow.
Yeah, we were thankful enough to have a $5,000 donor who was going to match every dollar up to $5,000.
Wow,
Yeah, which is super nice.
that is amazing. Very generous.
Yeah, extremely
So
generous.
is that something like the honor flight?
Kind of. So because of the Brave is paying for them to go. So we're paying for their flights, meals, hotels, any activities they want to do in DC. But one of the big things we're doing is an event called Wreaths Across America.
Race across America?
Wreaths,
Wreaths.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Every December they host, and you go to Arlington National Cemetery, and you put the wreaths on the veterans' graves.
Wow.
And the important thing is saying their name, so they're always remembered. And we've been going for, 10 years probably.
No kidding. As a
Yeah,
family?
as a family. Yeah,
Pretty amazing stuff, guys. I mean, this is a special girl.
and we were able to bring our veterans and their families this year, which will be extra special.
Wow.
And then we're gonna do the Tomb of the Unknown on Friday with them. We're laying a wreath there as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep stuff. Eric, I don't know if you want to add anything while I'm trying to get my words out of my mouth over here.
Well,
Sorry.
while Dave gathers himself over there. Well, so I was going to ask what are some of the future plans, but so the one that's on Veterans Day, can folks attend this or what?
Yeah, of course. So it's starting at 4 o'clock at Counterweight Brewing, and
Right.
public is welcome. Dogs are welcome too if it's outside. But
That's pretty cool.
they're letting us use their space, which is super nice of them.
Very nice.
What's the location of this?
It's in Cheshire. I believe it's on Diana Court in Cheshire, but I would have to double check. 7 Diana Court in Cheshire.
That's pretty
Yeah.
specific.
I'm just remembering it
We're
now.
gonna queue up.
Yeah. 7.
Have you met any vets that have impacted you very much? Again, outside. I can't ask the same
No, that's
question.
a loaded question.
A loaded question, right?
That's a
Yeah.
loaded question because he knows that you just met somebody of great importance to you with that.
So tell me who you met. Tell everybody who you met.
Okay.
please.
In September at the Medal of Honor convention, I met Corporal Kyle Carpenter, who is a Marine, who received who received the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions.
That's pretty amazing. What was it like meeting him?
I was speechless. So it was actually really nice. My grandfather and I went on the trip together, and he knows how much I've looked up to Kyle Carpenter because he was one of the first recipients that I wrote about. And he wrote about for my Medal of Honor Monday post.
Wow.
Yeah, so we heard that Kyle wasn't coming, and then he ended up showing up, and my grandpa kind of like tapped me. He was like, "Do you see who's over there?" And I was like, "You're kidding."
Wow.
And I went up and I was like, "Hi, my name is Hayley Falk." And he goes, "Because of the Brave." He knew who I was. And you'll see my grandpa took a video. I thought I was going to pass out on the spot. I was like, "You're kidding. This is the hero that I've looked up to." And he knows, and he was just so kind, saying that he's been following me on social media. And
Wow.
he was like, "I feel like we've met before because I've been following you on social media," and just super, super nice.
Well, let's talk a little about the social media aspect that I think that Jonathan may have the background and be able to put up on the website, or not the website, on the camera for you guys to see. Social media feeds, your Facebook feed,
Yeah.
your Instagram feed, and which is going to kind of lead us into your website.
Yeah.
Now, what is the name of your website that you have because of the Brave? I mean, I don't want to assume anything, but what's the website?
It's bcofthebrave.org.
bcofthebrave.org.
Yep.
bcofthebrave.org. Now, on this website, you're selling some special swag. So this shirt, by the way, is a very cool shirt. Very comfortable, by the way, material. I'm going to show you the back of the shirt because I think it's important to see. You have, I'm not sure that we can see that, the Punisher back there, which I thought was pretty cool. And Eric's wearing a very special shirt that he has because of...
Eric's had this shirt for months. You had that shirt for an hour.
Yes.
We met about what, 6 months ago, 5 months ago?
Yeah, in June.
It was the middle of the night in June in Bartland Park because your organization brought the traveling the Vietnam traveling wall
Yes.
to Cheshire, which was super impactful.
Eric, let's just talk about that wall for a moment because that is something that is unique in itself, right? And let's have Hayley kind of give us a little background on the wall. So the wall, the Vietnam Traveling Wall, Memorial Wall that you guys met at, the wall was recently in Cheshire, Connecticut in June, thanks to a gentleman by the name of
Doc Russo.
And how does this whole thing? So Doc Russo makes this wall. Tell me more. Tell everybody about the Vietnam Traveling Wall, Memorial Wall.
Yeah, so it's a replica, smaller in size, of the wall in D.C., the Vietnam Wall in D.C. There's about 5 or 6 different replicas of it, and Doc Russo is one of the ones who has a replica of this wall that he brings around the country.
Now, it's not a. I'm not sure if Jonathan has it on the screen by chance. Is that something you can see or not? Yeah. All right. So, in order to find, is there some kind of place people can go to see what this replica of the wall looks like? I mean, outside of like, if you Google right now,
Well, you can look on my phone because I took a multitude of pictures of it, but
that doesn't
it
help.
wouldn't do any justice.
Yeah.
On our
If-
website, there's...
On your website.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you go to BC of the Brave, you're going to see this replica of the wall. This wall is huge. I mean, it's not like it's how many feet? How many? Like, it's got to be like it's massive.
Yeah, I think it's like 3/5 of the scale of the regular one. in
It's
Washington.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
And how many names are on there?
over 58,000.
58,000 names on that wall. Unbelievable.
How many from Connecticut?
I believe 612 from Connecticut.
That the fact that she knows this information is beside myself. How many people know that kind of information? Like to know how many people in Connecticut are on the wall. Obviously, you're Hayley, so it makes sense.
So the value of having the wall here, Dave, is that for folks that can't readily just hop on down to Washington and see the wall, each wall has markings on it that tells you where the name of your loved one, uncle, friend of family friend, whatever it was, you can find their name on that wall. And I've seen reactions of folks that are either seeing it for the first time or just reliving what the experience that they had when they first saw the name down at the actual wall. And it was super touching.
Yeah.
Super touching.
You volunteered at that wall, Eric, to
Yes.
be there to protect the wall.
4 nights and 1 day. Yeah.
And that's where you met Hayley. That's how this whole
Yeah.
thing kind of happened. So
Yeah.
you met Hayley the first
But
time.
he was half asleep most of the time. His girl did not sleep that week.
No.
Oh my goodness! So you were there protecting Hayley and the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what kind of hours did you spend there, Eric, when you were there? I mean, how did that work out?
Well, I mean, that's an episode in and of itself.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do a 2-hour window. I did a 4 because I was just hanging out with military guys there. Hayley can tell you we exchanged war stories and military stories, and I remember this, and this is how it was when I served, and all of this. It was to die for. It was awesome.
That's amazing.
And Dylan was there with me one night, and Dylan stood there for about 3 hours, didn't move.
Yeah.
He stood at almost like at attention, and he was just watching and listening to everybody tell their stories or whatever.
That's just amazing.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of stories you shoot on tape, like to have, like, because when someone tells you a story like that, it's so vividly real.
Yeah,
and-
but some
and
of them are not acceptable for the public.
that might be true. But you know what? It's real. It's people that can tell their stories. And how often does someone get to tell their story truthfully? Because it's not like you have a spotlight to talk about those kind of things on a regular basis.
Well, on a footnote, I mean, there were, and I'm sure you're aware of this from the volunteer list, but there were folks from, like, far away.
Yeah.
Far away.
What's
Other towns. I mean, like, there was one guy, I think he came from Milford.
New Milford?
No, well, I don't know about New Milford. I think
Okay.
there was a guy from New Milford. And he's actually a police officer in another town.
Okay.
And he came, and like it wasn't like everybody was like from Cheshire
Yeah.
Oh,
or
okay.
North Haven.
So all over the state.
It was there were far away towns.
Gotcha.
45 minutes, an hour away.
So-
that came to do that.
Now, with this wall, okay, so Doc Russo has this wall. He gets over 300 applicants a year in order to get the wall, to have a chance to be I hate to say the winner, but to be chosen to have the wall be shown where they are. And only 18 out of 300, is that right?
Yeah, it's something around there.
That's unbelievable per year. So in getting the wall, like, what's involved? There's got to be a cost to this. How does it work?
Yeah, so we applied for the wall and we became a nonprofit in April of 2021. Then a couple days after we became a nonprofit, we found out we were accepted to host the wall. And we were like,
Oh my gosh.
oh my gosh, okay. We had $0 in the bank account because we're a nonprofit. We just started out.
Yes.
And Cheshire Sport, Bob at Cheshire Sport,
Bobby.
he is the best. Like,
He is the nicest guy. Bobby at Cheshire Sport, the nicest guy in the world. We actually get all of our swag from Bobby from Cheshire
Yeah.
Sport.
from Cheshire Sport.
Is that?
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
all
I
of
know
our
what
stuff.
Bobby has the best stuff. All our polos, all our swags from Cheshire Sport.
Yeah.
Bobby at Cheshire Sport, thank you so much for being such a major player, and because of the Brave. So he is. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bobby Cheshire Sport.
Yeah, so we did our first T-shirt sale, and it was actually of one of the. There's actually 2 people from Cheshire who were on the wall.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah. So we did a T-shirt for John Gravel, who is one of the men on the wall from Cheshire,
Wow.
and we sold the T-shirts. Bob from Cheshire Sport donated the T-shirts, so we were able to put a down payment for the wall to come.
Such a generous guy.
Very, very generous. Yeah.
And like the family as a whole. I mean, they've got a few different locations. By the way, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to mention this right now. Cheshire Sport has also Hamden. They have, I think, Northford. They have a few different locations. So if you're ever looking for swag for your real estate, for any kind of event, you want a great product, he has the nicest stuff, and
Yeah.
he's such a good guy. So big shout out to Cheshire Sport for that. That's amazing. I love
Yeah.
it. So he helped you raise money to bring the wall. And may I ask, what does it cost to bring the wall? I mean, it's a huge wall.
Yeah.
So the actual process of bringing this, and what's it made? It's made from stone.
Yeah, it's some type of it's heavy, very heavy, marble material, and it was the initial cost of the wall is $8,000.
Wow.
But that doesn't include the ramp, so it's wheelchair accessible, the
Right.
lights, the police that need to be there,
Right? You have to, wow.
everything else that.
So to bring the wall to your to be win or to be chosen to have the wall in your town, and then you're like, oh my gosh, what does that involve? How did you find out afterwards? Did you know what was involved financially?
We knew going in how much it was going to be, so we just really wanted it. We were going to have it here whether.
One way or another.
Yeah,
you're
one
gonna
way
raise
or
that money.
another. Uh-huh.
Wow. So you had a large turnout for people to raise money and to buy T-shirts and everything else.
Yeah, that's what we did. We sold T-shirts. We had a lot of sponsorships,
You
which
know,
was super nice.
I want to just make sure we talk about Hayley's website, because on this website, she sells a lot of product there. And I say selling, I want you to understand something, which non-for-profit, what does that mean? That means that everything they buy there and everything they sell is non-for-profit, which means they make zero money. So every moment that you spend involved in this organization, you don't get 1 red cent out of that. That is something that is like mind-blowing at the age of 19, forget about 16 and everything else between there, to be involved in such an organization and a family that backs you up so tremendously. I know we have Lisa in the background over here and your dad, who are very big parts of your life that really give you major support.
Yeah.
Obviously, for a lot of reasons, because of how important you are to them and what you're doing for this organization. So definitely go to BC of the Brave
Yep.
.org.
.org.
I want to make sure I say it correctly. bcofthebrave.org. Go to the website. Look at the many options for T-shirts. What else do you have there? T-shirts.
Sweatshirts, hats, yard signs.
They can make donations as well, right?
Yeah.
You can so you can make donations on the website. That's fantastic. I didn't know that. That's really good to know. So you can make donations. You can buy some swag and represent some of the most important people that served our country and still do today.
Yeah.
The people who are why we have our freedoms. Hayley, you've been amazing on the show. I got to tell you, is there anything else we should talk about before I end the show tonight? Because this has been so powerful on many levels. Anything else you want to share?
I think we hit a lot of the...
We hit a lot of stuff. We may have to bring you back on the show again to touch on some more things that are coming up. Any more events coming up that we should share with anybody at all?
I think for this year, our big Veterans Day, and then our DC is our last big
Beautiful.
event.
Get out there, everybody. Please make a donation for an amazing organization because of the brave.
What's the name of the place again for Veterans Day?
Oh, Counterweight Brewing Company.
Say it one more time.
Counterweight Brewing Company?
Counterweight Brewing Company. It's going to be on Veterans Day. Is there a time to time? At what time it's going to start?
It's going to start at 4.
4 p.m. So
Yeah.
it's perfect for
And
happy
ends-
hour.
7.
Okay, got 4 to 7.
4 to 7
make it,
on
folks.
Veterans Day. Make sure you're there. Make sure you show up. Be a part of something so special. Go to the website. Buy something. You will love the material, first of all, and you'll be really sponsoring something amazing. So I want to thank you all for watching today. It means a lot to me and Eric, and especially Hayley and her team. That's been amazing. All right, so the next part of our show, we go to giving out a free tumbler to a lucky guest. So we're going to have a spinning wheel that's going to happen, that Jonathan's going to hit that button, and it's spinning around. I can't see anything that's going on right now. And who's the lucky winner today there, Jonathan?
Davis Simpson from TikTok. Davis Simpson from TikTok.
Davis Simpson, thank you so much for following us on TikTok, and we appreciate the opportunity to give you a free tumbler. Please reach out to us, get us your address, and we will be sending out a beautiful tumbler. Last week was Anthony Bratz. He's a past client of mine. We sent him that tumbler. And by the way, when you get these tumblers, take a picture of yourself, post it on social media, and let everybody see this beautiful tumbler you got to yourself. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you,
Thank
Hayley.
you so much for
You were
letting
really
us.
amazing.
Thank you for everything.
Absolutely. Thank you for the shirt, by the way, too.
Oh,
It's
of course.
So very nice of you. Everybody, please check us out every week. We have amazing shows coming up in the next few weeks. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you very much. Very much.
He's tongue-tied.
I'm tongue-tied today.
And this wasn't even and this wasn't even with the sour candy
No,
stuff.
no sour candies today. Have a wonderful evening, guys.